10 celebrities caught flirting with Meghan Markle, Part 2. Rory McIlroy. A book claims that Meghan Markle flirted so hard with Rory that her boyfriend demanded to know whether or not she cheated with him. Rory first met Meghan Markle after he unexpectedly nominated her for the Ice Bucket Challenge, and she insisted he come to her friend's apartment in New York to dump the ice on her himself. The August 2014 encounter came just weeks after the Northern Irishman, then 25, won the Open Championship in Britain. Tom Bauer writes in his book Revenge, Meghan and Harry and the War Between the Windsors, which was released in the UK, that Rory had just split from his blonde fiancée, Danish tennis player ace Caroline Wozniacki, and was reported to be chasing brunettes. Bauer writes, after Rory and Markle posted the Ice Bucket Challenge video, which raises funds for motor neuron disease research, they enjoyed a drink at the Fitzpatrick Hotel, where the sportsman was staying. They were spotted by the hotel's owner, John Fitzpatrick, who invited them to join him at dinner with 20 pals at Cipriana that night. The following morning, Rory arrived at the Ridgewood Country Club 30 miles away to plan a new competition. After a hectic night, he fell back to 101st place. Bauer writes, nevertheless, he refused to sleep as usual near the golf course to be ready the following day. Instead, he drove back to New York to see Meghan. His performance suffered. I wasn't quite on my game, he confessed later. I was enjoying myself. As a huge fan of Rory, I say that the guy was just enjoying a night out. Don't read into it too much, UK. Come on, it's for charity. Sahas of Sunset. The star of this show went to high school with Meghan Markle and had brought up some memories of their time together. Nima recounted a memory he had from Meghan of school on the Reality Life with Katie Casey podcast and started off by saying she was amazing and a woman among girls, which was a bit of a weird comment. He added, everyone was in love with her. She was sweet and very kind. He then followed that comment with this. She knew what she was doing. We were at a party one time and she sat on my lap. She got nose to nose with me. For a 16-year-old guy, it's a very emotional moment. She said to me in Farsi, "You are so beautiful." I asked her, how do you know Farsi? She said, I learned it for you, then walked away. I call bull feces. But moving away from Meghan's flirting skills, Nima accused her of ghosting his friend Gabe, which left Gabe upset and apparently with a major chip on his shoulder, judging by the fact that Nima felt the need to bring this up. So let's be honest, Nima, this didn't happen, you just want attention. Boy band. Meghan Markle is apparently not immune to constant onslaught of snide comments and insinuations from the British media. This time, the story concerns Markle's single days before she'd even met Prince Harry, let alone started dating him. According to The Sun, Markle swapped tweets with former boy bander Max George back in 2013, possibly even around the same time that she swapped messages with a different British semi-celeb X Factor winner Matt Cardle. In other words, back when the Duchess of Sussex was single, she swapped messages online with a few British men while in the UK. Has The Sun never heard of online dating? The Sun sources doesn't seem to have much intel beyond the fact that Markle allegedly made contact with both these men, and did so using Twitter. Following her 2013 split from actor and producer Trevor Ingleson, Markle spent some time in the UK, during which alleged Twitter messages occurred. Per The Sun source, Meghan was reaching out to a number of celebs in the UK as she spent more time there. Max was one of the biggest stars in pop music at the time, and they connected on Twitter. They swapped a few messages and had a lovely conversation, but at the end of the day, nothing came from it. She then met her husband soon after. Matt Lawyer. According to a sensational report, the former Suits actress was allegedly caught in a sneaky dressing room hookup situation with disgraced American TV host Matt Lawyer following an appearance on the Us Today show before she started dating Harry. There was something going on between them. A snitch from NBC Network is alleged to have told the publication. The insider feared Meghan's May 19th wedding to Prince Harry was in serious jeopardy after now the actress' secret past has come to life. The on-set spy claimed Meghan had Matt, who was 60 at the time, vanished together, and that Meghan was spied going in the TV star's dressing room on at least 2 different occasions. Whether it was even just heavy flirting, Matt wouldn't have done it in front of his wife. If anything more, it went on behind closed doors. Matt was sensationally fired from NBC show last year after allegations of SA came to light. The source goes on to claim that while it was unusual for Matt to ask female guests to go backstage with him between segments, he usually left his office door open. However, with Meghan, he chose to keep that meeting private. What are your thoughts? George Clooney. NW claimed that George Clooney and Meghan Markle had a secret fling, and Clooney had recently stood up for the Duchess of Sussex, calling her a really kind and smart and intelligent young woman who's being unfairly vilified by the press. The publication couldn't think of a single reason why Clooney would stick up for her, so they speculated that the two used to date. George and Meghan are great friends, but the way he's so publicly stood up for her makes it seem like they could have had some kind of past, an alleged insider told the magazine. The so-called source adds, "After all, Meg would be exactly George's type. She's beautiful and wants to make the world a better place. Plus, she goes after what she wants. She wouldn't have been afraid to make a move on George when they were both single." The article was vague about when Clooney and Markle first met on purpose, because the only reason Markle knows the Ocean 11's actor is because of her relationship with Prince Harry. Clooney and Prince Harry have been good friends since they met while both working on philanthropic projects. It has never been fully proven, so let's assume it's false out of good heart. Trevor Ingleson. Meghan walking down the aisle with Harry was a second time's the charm kind of situation, because before Harry, Markle was married to Hollywood producer Trevor Ingleson. Unlike her relationship with Harry, Ingleson and Markle progressed slowly. The pair met in 2004 and later became engaged in 2010. In 2011, their wedding was held at the Jamaica Inn in Ocho Rios. But the pair quietly split in 2013. In an awkward turn of events, Deadline reported that Ingleson is producing a comedy show about a man whose wife leaves him for a British prince. Now, where could he have came up with that idea? Corey Vitiello. Right before Meghan Markle went on her first date with Harry in June 2016, she was dating Canadian chef and restaurateur Corey Vitiello. The pair began dating in 2014 but parted ways in May 2016. The reason for their breakup is unknown, but Harry is said to have asked for Suits alum's phone number shortly after Markle and Vitiello split. According to The Telegraph, Meghan moved on and up with Harry not long after her relationship ended. Brett Ryland. Meghan is said to have dated TV actor Brett Ryland for 5 months. Brett, who lives in LA, starred in television show Mother's Little Helper and South of Nowhere. He later became a staff writer on Two Broke Girls, as well as working as a writer on the Disney Channel. He is now thought to be working in the business world. Sean Zackin. Meghan is also believed to have dated comedy writer Sean Zackin for 6 months in 2003. The pair met as students at university, embarking on a romance the year Meghan graduated. Sean has worked on TV shows Mystery Girl, Nail Files, as well as making a cameo appearance on Sex and the City as a waiter. The writer and producer who lives in LA also co-wrote TV movie Two Princes, which tells the story of Prince Charming arriving in modern-day California. Isn't this kind of ironic, considering that Meghan Markle ended up with her Prince Charming? And now her first boyfriend. According to sources, her first long-term boyfriend was Luis Seguiera. In time-honored fashion, it was his sister Maria who set them up on their first date. The couple seeing one another regularly for nearly 2 years. She got to know the Seguiera family well, including Luis' younger brother Danny, who played Sron in Oedipus Rex, and always credits Meghan, who was then 16, with encouraging him to take the stage. He says now a real estate agent, Luis describes her as sweet and fun, and according to Andrew, he was no doubt one of a number of voices encouraging her to enter the contest for St. Francis Homecoming Queen.
Massive crowds turned out to see them, and the Duchess' refreshingly informal approach was proving a hit. Behind the scenes, however, it was a different story. Although she enjoyed the attention, Meghan failed to understand the point of all those royal walkabouts, shaking hands with countless strangers. According to several members of staff, she was heard to say on at least one occasion during a 2018 tour, "I can't believe I'm not getting paid for this." Palace officials knew there was a lot riding on Meghan Markle. Her racial background, she has a black mother and a white father, and the fact she had a successful career as an actress also meant they couldn't afford to repeat the mistakes made with Princess Diana. In October 2018, Harry and Meghan spent 48 hours in Fiji on a tour. On the first night, they attended a state dinner hosted by the president, at which the Duchess wore a pair of diamond earrings. Kensington Palace said they were loaned but refused to say from whom. 2 years later, it was revealed that the chandelier earrings had been a wedding gift from the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. At the time of the wedding, there was nothing controversial controversial about the gift. However, it was later said that the prince had ordered the killing of a journalist. Then the idea that Meghan would, at a state occasion, knowingly wear earrings given to her by a man accused of having blood on his hands was surprising to people. Meghan's staff in particular were shocked that she would wear them, given her previous public advocacy for women's rights in Saudi Arabia. So the Kensington Palace briefing that the earrings were loaned had been misleading. People told her that the earrings had been borrowed from the jeweler Chapard, however it was not true. A couple of months after the dinner, a sharp-eyed reader from a blog called Meghan's Mirror spotted that they were from a collection by the Hong Kong jeweler Brittany, so not Chapard, and not borrowed from the jeweler. Was it an honest mistake, or was someone lying? And if so, why? Was there a secret relationship, maybe? The earrings were even given another outing 3 weeks after Fiji, when Meghan wore them to the Prince of Wales' 70th birthday party at Buckingham Palace on November 14th. When the earrings had first appeared in photos, London-based staff responsible for registering details of all royal gifts had recognized them and alerted Kensington Palace. A source said, "We made a decision not to confront Meghan and Harry on it, out of fear for what the reaction would be." After the Duchess wore the earrings for a second time, an aide took up the matter with Harry. He is said to have looked shocked that people knew where the earrings came from. Later, Meghan's lawyer said at no stage did the Duchess tell staff that the earrings were borrowed from a jeweler, as this would have been untrue and therefore any suggestion that she encouraged them to lie to the media is baseless. 2 days later, they added, "It is possible she said the earrings were borrowed, which is correct, as presents from heads of state to the royal family are gifts to Her Majesty the Queen, who can then choose to lend them out to members of the family. If the earrings were loaned by the Queen, staff would have said so, and no one in normal conversation would have ever referred to them as being loaned. They were a wedding gift for Meghan to use as she liked." Meghan's lawyers also argued that she had no idea about Prince Mohammed's suspected involvement in the execution, but by the time she wore the earrings for a second time, this claim was even harder to sustain.
Back in 2004, when Meghan was still an aspiring actress, it was said she went out with former porn star Simon Rex. Whether or not these guys hooked up is still up for speculation, but we do know that Simon Rex was offered once $70,000 from a British tabloid to say that he slept with her, which he completely denied. The Suits star told Larry King that her first kiss happened at theater camp in Los Angeles when she was only 13 years old. Her summer fling was Joshua Silverstein, a comedian who now appears on The Late Late Show with James Corden as a professional beatboxer. Okay, I only added him because he plays Mike Ross in US Network's hit drama Suits. They kiss a lot, so he technically hooked up with Meghan. Meghan's character is Rachel Zane, and they started off pretty rocky in the show, but things get better as the series progresses.